Hey guys, Coach Joe here. I want to do a quick video on pounding the strike zone and why that's so important for pitchers, especially young pitchers. And I'm going to give you a couple of guidelines to really help you in making sure that we minimize our walks. So one of the most important things when it comes to the count is to think about wanting first 2 out of 3 pitches for strikes. Now, a lot of times people just think, okay, we want that first pitch for a strike, and we definitely do. A first pitch strike is a great thing, but think about it a little bit deeper and realize that if you go 1-0, all is not lost. Hitters don't hit that much better 1-0 versus 0-1. You're still right in the count. And if you go 0-1, you haven't won. You still need to throw more strikes. And so why 2 out of the first 3 is so important, and why the 1-1 count in particular is maybe the most important count, is because there's a huge difference between going 2-1 and 1-2. 2-1, the hitter's in the driver's seat. The hitter has a great chance. They're probably going to get a great pitch to hit, and their batting averages are going to be very high. 1-2, the hitter's on the defensive. As a pitcher, you can work for a very quality pitch. You can get them to chase. They're going to expand the zone. If they're just looking to put the ball in play, you might get weak contact. So 1-1, so critical to throw a strike. When I was in college, we had a great pitching coach. He caught 10 years in the major leagues, and he stressed so much the importance of that 1-1 count, and he would have us throw our best strike pitch on that count. So for most guys, the best strike pitch is going to be a fastball, but some guys it's going to be a curveball. We had a guy that his best strike pitch was the changeup. Now, of course, you're not going to fall into a pattern where every single 1-1 count you're going to throw the same pitch. But these are just guidelines, general guidelines, and especially when you're facing teams, one time and they don't know who you are, you can definitely 1-1 count, just throw a strike pitch. One of the best ways to think about it is just right down the middle, try to stay on top, try to be low, but we need a strike. And another really important guideline is a 2-2 count. Don't throw a pitch that you wouldn't want to throw on a full count. We see so many guys at a young age 2-2, and they're trying to throw their nastiest breaking pitch to get the batter to chase, thinking that that count warrants it. But a 2-2, you've got to be a strike also. So some guys, full count, they trust their curveball, so they would throw it. And if you trust your off speed, your curveball or whatever pitch, then 2-2, it's fine to throw it. But most guys, especially at a young age, don't trust their off speed for strikes too much, and so you should really, go right after the hitters with a good fastball. And especially, most of the kids, watching this are at a young age, but even at a higher age, it's very similar. But especially at a young age, really pay attention. Especially at a young age, what you're trying to do is limit base runners, not so much to limit the extra base hit. And that's not true. If base is loaded, okay, extra base hit kills you with guys on first and second, things like that. But when you have a situation, nobody on base or a guy on base, at a young age, base runners are what you're trying to get rid of. So if you're pitching around guys, if you're giving up walks, you're killing yourself. And the reason is, and it's watching a youth game, and you'll see it for yourself. The reason is the stealing percentage, and we're talking travel baseball, not Little League. The stealing percentage is basically very high, close to 100%. It's base runners are going to steal second. When they get to second, they've got a very good chance of stealing third, or they're going to get on a pass ball. So if a runner gets on base, they're going to get to third base. It's very, very likely. It's hard to hold runners at a young age, and this is true, even in sometimes up to high school. Okay, so we don't want to give up base runners, and even at the higher levels, like at college, a lot of coaches will really preach pounding the strike zone because it's really the same thing. You don't want base runners, but especially at a young age. I mean, a lot of times a young pitcher, if you're walking, and I ask pitchers, okay, how many walks are you walking? A lot. They say, no, not really. Maybe just one walk an inning, and they think that's not very many. But really, you should be aiming for one walk every 3 innings or less. And if you're not doing that, if you're walking more than that, then your focus should be almost just purely on strikes. You got to get ahead, fastballs, right down the middle, right at them. When you do that, you can get your breaking pitches. Every once in a while, throw that breaking pitch early in the count to keep the hitter honest and obviously keep developing your off speed. But for the most part, we need strikes. The guys that really dominate, and I'm talking 9, 10-year-old kids just dominating completely the best teams in the country, if they can get 2 pitches over for a strike. 2 pitches is all it is. You eliminate walks, or very few walks, get 2 pitches over, and you'll completely dominate. But before that, you've got to get 1 pitch over. Even kids that get 1 pitch for strikes will have tremendous success. And it doesn't matter at what age. I mean, even when I was pitching professionally, I remember they would talk to me about, wow, you threw 24 out of 25 of your fastballs for strikes. That was always the key. The fastball for a strike, everything hinges on that pitch. And so strikes is so important until you really get to, very high level where guys are going to be hitting doubles and home runs like crazy. You really should just be, my main focus is strikes. Everything can work off of that. If I'm throwing strikes consistently, I can get more movement, I can change speeds. But if I'm not throwing strikes, it's a waste of time to start thinking about all this other stuff. And it's not that you can't work on a curveball, but just work on it knowing that 90% of your effort should be, my fastball's got to be for strikes. I've got to be consistent with it. I've got to stay on top of it. I've got to be able to pound the zone. I've got to be able to make the hitter respect my fastball, so they're looking for it, they're in swing mode, then I can throw the curveball, and even if it's in the dirt, they're going to swing because they're in that swing mode, and that's so important. So for all you guys out there, looking for the next thing to help you as a pitcher, think, man, simplify, throw strikes, become a strike throwing machine. All right, so that's the theme right now. Pound the zone, become a strike throwing machine. So, all right, guys, I hope that you learned a lot, and I will see you next time.